via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from wherever you are connecting to. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, it is said, if nothing is impure, then how can the teaching of the other be impure? The second sutra that we had explained, it says that purity of the other teachings becomes an impurity to us. In reality, there is nothing impure, then how can this be possible? Life, rivers to merge with the ocean. River is constantly rivering to merge, to be oceanic, not become. To be oceanic, it has two steps. First step is river, bit by bit, drop by drop, dissolves its identity, its ego. The moment it attains to egolessness, ocean lends its magnanimity to the drop. So too, life is constantly rivering. It has no set path. As the life moves, as the life rivers, it paves its way to merge with that which is, you may call it God, Allah, Bhagwan, existence, whatsoever it is. Again, it follows two steps. The first step is dissolving your identities, and then the ocean, the existence will lend its totality to you. You will attain to your totality. Only then you can be light onto yourself, apa deepo bhava. And when you are a light onto yourself, you can sing. Mansa satatam smaraniyam. Mansa, mind. Satatam, constantly. Smaraniyam, remembers this. We are part of the whole. Mansa satatam smaraniyam. Vachasa satatam vadaniyam. Vachasa means the word that comes out of you. Vachasa satatam, constantly. Vadaniyam, that comes out of you, that is soaked with this awareness. Then what will happen? Lokahitam mama karaniyam. Lok means humanity. The everyone. Hitam, the upliftment of whosoever comes in your con, is my bounden duty. Mansa satatam smaraniyam. Vachasa satatam vadaniyam. Lokahitam mama karaniyam. Lokahitam mama karaniyam. Then there is an entire process of it. How can you fulfill your obligation towards the humanity, for the benefit of the humanity? Na bhoga bhavane smaraniyam, ramaniyam. You are not engaging into lust and all those things. Nacha sukh sainam shayaniyam. Out of pleasure, out of happiness, you are asleep. Aharnisham jagaraniyam. Every moment you are awake and alive. Look, only then you can do think of working for humanity. Na bhoga bhavanam ramaniyam, not engaging into sense pleasures. Na cha sukha sayanam shayaniyam, neither going to sleep out of happiness. Aharnisham jagarniyam, every moment I am awake and alive. Lokahitam mama karniyam, manasa satatam smarniyam, vachsa satatam vadaniyam. Lokahitam mama karniyam, lokahitam mama karniyam. Na bhoga bhavane shaya ramaniyam, na bhoga bhavane ramaniyam, na cha sukha sayane shayaniyam, aharnisham jagarniyam, lokahitam mama karniyam, lokahitam mama karniyam. Only then you can constantly engage your words. Firstly, you are constantly remembering that you are part of the ocean, you are oceanic, you are cosmic. And that which is cosmic is your consciousness. Then whatsoever comes out of you is the expression of truth, is the expression of awakening, and then lokahitam mama karaniyam, lokahitam mama karaniyam. So this particular sutra, this is the second sutra which we have explained earlier on, says the purity of the other teachings appears as impure to us. The Hindu teachings appear impure to Muslim teachings appear impure to Christians, so on and so forth. So the question is, in reality, nothing is pure or impure. If nothing is impure or pure, these are the two sides of the same coin. If nothing is impure, then how can the teachings of the other be impure? Really, nothing is impure. But the teachings that something is impure and something is pure has to be discarded. It has to be discarded outrightly. If you want to gain something that you have a coin, you have to forget about head and tail. Only then, when you know the totality of the coin, you can use it. You cannot give the head in exchange for something that you want, or tail in exchange. The teaching that something is pure and something is impure has to be discarded. Only in that sense does the sutra mean purity of other teachings is an impurity to us. Nothing is pure and nothing is impure. But if someone teaches that something is pure and something is impure, every religion teaches that my way is the only way and the way of the others is wrong. Look at your religions, what they say. Our scripture is the supreme scripture. It is the latest. Some say that our scripture is the original scripture that existed. All these teachings that has been inculcated in the human mind has to be discarded first. The purity of other teaching is an impurity to others. Nothing is pure and nothing is impure. But if someone, it is not if, that is what it is happening. One religion teaches, magnifies its purity over the others. This is what it is happening all around us. And that is the cause that religions are not preaching the message of religiosity. But if someone teaches that something is pure and something is impure, I would categorically say all the religions are teaching that. Only the awakened ones do not. Even some of the ones who are continuing the work of spirituality are engrossed into that. Maybe they are ignorant enough. They do not know. As an individual, you know, dollar is a coin, dollar is a currency, the pound is a currency. So too the currencies of the other that can be used in exchange for something that you want. It may be dollar will be more value than the pound or so on and so forth, but each one of them has if you have a dollar, you can get a soft drink. If you have a pound, you can get a soft drink. If you have a yuan, Chinese currency, you can get. If you have an Indian rupee, you can get the soft drink. So whatsoever religion, the way you follow, you will ultimately reach. But do not say that Allah is better than Father or Father is better than Bhagwan. This is erroneous, and that is what is being spread all around. This has to be discarded. Only in this sense does the sutra say purity of the other is an impurity to us. This is just a discarding. It is just saying that don't make any distinction. Remain innocent. Innocent like a child. And this Jesus has emphasized. When someone asks who can enter the kingdom of your Father, he says that one who is childlike. He did not say childish. There is a difference between childishness and childlikeness. Childlike is the innocence of the child. Childishness is cunningness. It is the innocence that is very important. Become pure and innocent. But look at the complexity of life. If I say remain innocent, and if you then try innocence, that innocence will not be innocent, will not make you innocent. How can it be? If you have tried it, it has become calculated. Now it has become a tradition that because the people from the different religions, they come following the different paths. So politically, diplomatically, you have tried something. It has become a calculated thing. When I am speaking of something that is to highlight a particular path, be it Sufi path, I am totally Sufi. When I am speaking on the Zen path or that of Buddha, I speak the terminology and everything in that way. The both Sufi path, Zen path, the path of Buddha, the path of yoga, all takes you to the ultimate. These are the paths that different rivers follow, rivering to reach the ocean. Islam developed, Sufism developed in the desert, heat, and intense heat and difficult climatic conditions. So we have to think of something different. We have to think of oases. We have to think of the gardens. Zen developed in the cold places. So we have to think of warmth. So the whole process is of the warmth. Zen is of warmth. Sufism is that of coolness because of the place where it developed. So look at the complexity of life. If I say remain innocent and you try to be innocent, this will be a calculated way. How can it be. If you have tried it, it has become, you have made it calculated, then it cannot be innocent. If you try it, it cannot be. So what has to be done? Thus discard. Discard those things which create cunningness. Do not try to create innocence. Be natural, spontaneous. River is not a calculated path. As it rivers, it creates its own path. That is what innocence is. Just discard those things will create cunningness in your mind. This is negative. When you have discarded the root cause of cunningness, innocence will happen on its own to you. Nothing is, then you can say nothing is pure, nothing is impure. But what is to be done then? Your mind is filled with distinctions. This is pure, that is impure. Look at the minds of each follower of a religion, be it Christianity, be it Hinduism, be it Islam. They are filled with certain concept of purity and impurity. If you can discard, you can become pure. You can enjoy. If you are divided in your mind that I want head and you want tail, then you can remain thirsty. You cannot exchange the coin for something that is different. Beyond the duality exists the realm of the absolute purity. Absolute purity is not against purity and impurity. It is the absolute. The sutra is meaningful in another sense. There are teachings with very fixed rules. For example, Catholic Christians' teachings or Jain teachings in India are against sex. They say that sex is impure, ugly, and sin. Tantra says that nothing is ugly, nothing is impure or sin. Even sex can become a path. Even sex can become a path towards salvation, towards nirvana. It depends on you. It is not sex that is important. It is you who determines the quality of it, who go into the deeper realms of it. And then wherever you are, whichever part of the earth you are, right there below this certain level, there is water. So if instead of remaining on the surface, you start digging, each one of you will start exploring the water wherever you are. Whether you are in Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean or Indian Ocean, you are diving in the depth of the ocean, you will discover precious gems. But if you remain on the surface, you will say this is Pacific Ocean, this is Atlantic Ocean, this is Indian Ocean, this is Caribbean, this is this, that is that. This is what we are doing. Start diving deep wherever you are. If you are a Muslim, following that path, start diving deep within and you will find the gems from deep within. Your language may be different because You understand a different kind of a language and terminology. My one may be different than that of others. Even prayer can become sin, and sex can become a virtue. It depends on you. It depends on you. You have a coin in your hand. 5 people are given a coin in their hands. They are given $100 each. They can buy different things. Everyone will buy things what they think is right for them. Isn't it so? It all depends on an individual, what he uses, the resources that he has in his hand. Some may buy a bottle of alcohol. Next one will buy pornographic material. Third may buy some material for the prayer. Some may go to a bookstore and buy the books that may need. It all depends on you, how you use your resources that are available to you at your hand. The value is not in the object. The value is not in the money. Is the one who is using that resource. The value is brought to it by you. Look at it. At this phenomenon. In different ways, Tantra say that even sex can become salvation. I am using again and again this example of sex because this is considered to be most controversial. Christians, Catholic Christians consider sex to be sin and what they are engaged in. The nuns were burnt because they were considered as witches, and there are so many examples in the media about involvement in these things, in sex, for the nuns and the priests, cardinals. The value, that's why I say that something I have heard. Alcohol you can use for different purposes. Most of them, alcohol is the medium to make a medicine. Poison can take your life and it can give you life. There are certain medicines in homeopathy, they are poisons, but when they are taken in a certain proportion, they become life-giving. In order to offset the poison of the snake venom, another kind of poison is given as an antidote. It all depends on who is using it. The homeopathic medicines are based in alcohol. Cough syrups and all these things, they have a trace element. Every food, when it is digested, it becomes alcohol. This is the stage that it goes through before it becomes blood. So it has its use. You must know. You must know even the apple you eat, you can get out of it apple cider vinegar, which is very healthy. You can get out of this alcohol. Cane juice is very good, sugar cane juice. You can get many things out of it. You can get a cane vinegar. You can get alcohol from it. you can extract ethanol from it, which can be mixed with gasoline to reduce the cost of gasoline. It all depends on how you are using this. So nothing is pure, nothing is impure, nothing is sin, nothing is virtue. If you do not know how to say your prayers, your prayer can become sin. If you know how to use your sex energy, existential bioenergy, it will become virtuous for you. It will transcend you beyond the duality of male-female. As such, you are a confluence of male and feminine, female energy. The light that you have in your room, that light, it is a confluence of positive and negative energy, the male and female energies. When male and female energies balance one another, you get illumination. That is what your bulb light is, isn't it? When you go deeper into it, you can't see that it is act of sex between positive energy and the negative energy. The light is the orgasm that is obtained, that happens after the positive current neutralizes the negative current. They are in harmony with one another. Is it not going deeper into the act that you call it as sin? Whatsoever is in life, whatsoever you see is an orgasmic experience. Out of that there is illumination. Whether it is any electronic appliance, whether it is your air conditioner or central heating, if the two currents, the two electrodes do not neutralize one another, there will be no orgasmic experience, and that orgasmic experience in air conditioning is cool breeze. The orgasmic experience is that orgasmic experience that air condition is experiencing is not for its own sake. It is for the sake of the humanity. Lokahitam mama karaniyam. The bulb, when it lights, it does not rejoice the orgasmic experience, but that experience, it shares it with the people. That now you can do your work. Now you can do your work for which you need my illumination, my orgasmic experience. Awakened one says, my orgasmic experience with the existence totality, you can use for the benefit of humanity. You can sing very clearly, Manasa satatam vadaniyam, lokahitam mama karaniyam. Lokahitam mama karaniyam. So how can prayer be a virtue, sex be a sin? If you know how to use it. The scientist, the awakened one who has invented air conditioner, he invented a device through which the masculine and the feminine energies neutralize one another, and as an orgasmic experience, it is doing the benefit to humanity in the warmth, in the intense heat by giving a cold breeze. That is what all the awakened ones are doing. Nothing is, you have to come out of the duality, the head and tail, the positive and the negative, the male and female. but then come to sex without any notion of purity or impurity, sin or virtue, morality or immorality. Come to it as pure energy. You do not say this is masculine or positive or feminine. You say this is positive current, this is negative current. Positive current comes from the outside source, negative current comes from the body itself. Move in that energy as if you are moving into the unknown. Do not fall asleep, be alert and awake when sex brings you to the very root of the being, very root of your being. Be alert. Do not fall asleep on the path. If while driving you fall asleep while sitting on the steering wheel, you are bound to get accident. This is what happening. We are on the steering wheel. The life is moving through the vehicle of sex, and you fall asleep. And when you fall asleep, the accident happens, and you call it virtue, a sin. Be alert and experience everything whatsoever is happening. The relaxation comes. The tension disappears. The peak that comes and the valley that in which you are thrown back again and again. The first step, the river as it rivering, it loses its all identities. That I am Thames, I am Ganga, I am Yamuna, I am Saraswati. It loses all its identities. It's simply a drop of water. It loses its identity. Sufis call this fana. Losing the identity is the first step. As long as you have identity, you cannot have the friendship with the person. You have to lose. You have to come at equal level. That you have to merge. Ego dissolves for a moment. You become one with your beloved. The two become one as partner. For a moment, the two are not there. Instead, there is oneness. And that oneness is Baka. The river has lost its identity. There is ocean, there is river. River lost its identity, dissolves its identity in the ocean. Next moment, the ocean lends its oceanic nature, makes the river drop as oceanic. Baka is attained. These are the two steps of awakening, two steps of enlightenment. First, dissolution of ego. This is what happened to Buddha. He was all the time making an effort that he has to attain to this. The body has become frail. He could not even cross the Niranjana river, the stony river. He fell in the river, held on to the tree that was leaning from the other shore of the river. He could not have the courage to get up. He started watching the stars disappearing one by one in the sky. Then somehow or the other, holding on to the branch from the other side of the river, he came out. He made a bed of leaves under the Bodhi tree, which is known as, in Hindi language, as peepal tree. And then the drop was merged into the ocean. Now it is the time for the ocean to give its magnanimity, its texture to the drop. The drop becomes ocean. The ocean becomes drop. The ocean merges into the drop. This is Baka. Two shores of enlightenment. River flows between the two shores. And what flows, what rivers between the two is enlightenment. The bodies may be two. Deep down there is a communion. The river, the two shores of the river are male and female. Between them, what is rivering is the energy that is rivering. And then be alert. Do not miss the moment in sleep. You can float in the river. You can drown in the river. When you understand this is energy, water is energy, it can create electricity, it can do many other things. Same way the existential energy that you call it sex, when it is flowing, it can give you tremendous energy. But it all depends upon, if you do not know swimming, you will drown. If you are swimming against the current, you will have to take too much of trouble and you will not succeed. If you are floating, you are effortless. You are simply flowing and river is taking you, but you are alert and awake, lying on the surface of the water. The sex that was just the outer core has now a different meaning for you. It has become the central point. This is what you were longing for, merger. This is what Buddha was longing, to merge with the ocean, with the existence. He strived, lived on 1 grain of rice for 6 months, did this austerity or that, whatsoever system of yoga was available then, he did it so totally that nobody could say that you have failed in doing your efforts. They said, this is all that I could take you for. But if you happen to know that which is, if you happen to merge with the ocean, then come and let us know. That's how, after those 5 people, 5 disciples, 5 recluse who left Buddha when he left the path of austerities, Buddha went in search of them. And they were the first 5 disciples of Gautam. And the first sermon that Gautam gave in a place called Sarnath near Bodh Gaya, near Varanasi. This was the meaning, the goal, and this is what you are searching for through this woman or that, or through this man or that. You were searching and searching and nothing is happening. Only with deep tantric alertness. Tantra is a particular way of alertness beyond duality. When your search is beyond duality, beyond the purity and impurity, right and wrong, sin and virtue, it is simply a scientific inquiry. Everything, awareness does change the act of sex completely. Sex disappears, and in place of that there is compassion, karuna. Karuna is the transformation. Karuna, compassion, is the transformation of the existential bioenergy. And is deep ecstasy is revealed to you. So Tantra says it is you who is important. It is the driver who knows the route, who knows everything about the vehicle, can take you to the destination. Only the driver who knows. If a driver is novice, he does not know the route, he will delay, he cannot take you to your destination. If you can bring meditation to your love, to your sex, to your day-to-day life, to your dealing in a day-to-day life, in your religious upbringing, everything will be transformed. Religion will become religiousness. Sex will become ecstasy. So Tantra does not say that this is pure, this is impure. And if you want to use the old terminology of purity and impurity, then I will say that you are asleep for the process of transformation. Sleep is impure, alertness is pure, and all else is meaningless. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again on another question. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.